Morning. Let me try to record a shorter video about a subject that most people won't be able to comprehend. It's a concept that I'm not the first one who came up with, and the concept I did not copy it from anyone. It's the way it makes sense, the way it feels, the way it has logics. And what I'll do, I'll make a comparison with game programming. When a computer game programmer wants to build a world, what that computer programmer does is building a code based on rules. So he has a scenario, like an idea, a base idea. He has an idea of how it looks, how it's going to look, how it's going to behave, that program, the actors, the interaction with the user, how those characters are going to look, how they are going to look, and all that. So he has that idea, but he has to construct something with whatever he has on here. So he uses energy, which is, let's say, a computer code, which is a form of intelligent energy. And that's, if you want to get the idea, maybe watch my other videos, how energy can be encoded, how energy can take shapes, like atoms. So if you learn about physics and how atom structure is made, they don't tell you deeper than what they know. They studied, but they have limitation regarding the concept that's used to make the atoms, because they can't measure that subtle energy field the atoms are made of. Same with a computer code. It's a concept, and at some point in the process they use electrical energy, electrical fields, electrons, to move electrical signals, which is information, to store that one in memory and in circuits. They use electrical signals through circuits which are made of atoms and molecules and all that. So they use information, encoded information, a concept that travels through matter, which matter is also a form of energy. Now, they build this code based on certain rules they learn in school, or they learn from their hobby, other programmers, from the internet. Some people just copy code made by others, but if we go to the ones who came up with the code, they used certain rules, and new rules keep coming up, new programs, new software. So those are based on certain rules. So if you don't make this line of program this way, the program is not going to run. If you don't use these numbers here, these constants, these parameters here, the program is not going to run, or is going to do something else. It's going to crumble. Same with our world. Our world is made of different physical layers and non-physical layers that interconnect. It's not a sudden border, sudden change between the layers. It's a continuation. And the non-physical, it's similar to the physical world. It's based on rules, or let's say rules of how things are interconnecting, how things are working together. And these creators, when they built the whole world, not only the physical world but everything else, let's say, how to say it without getting into spirituality, in paranormal and all that, the non-physical world, the one we can't see, the subtle energies that are all over the place, that, let's say, if we look at the spirits, if they are spirits, if you believe in that, at some point you can look at them as programs, because they do something. They do something, and because they do something, that means they are forms of intelligent energies. It's not like a spirit would move from A to B and sits there. The spirit understands, the spirit senses you, the spirit senses other spirits, the spirit is learning. And those who believe in God, or those who believe in afterlife, they know that the spirits have some sort of a life, not a lifetime, but they have a life. They do something, they think, they act like us, or almost like us. That means they live something, they live a life, a story, a program. So everything is made based on certain rules and codes, including in the spirit world. I have to watch for traffic here, small street. And without these rules, even that spirit world would not function, or would do something that's not supposed to. And what's supposed to? They are supposed to, and we are supposed to, what we were programmed to. So the gravity, it's a law that we discovered, and it makes objects, particles, and anything that's material to behave a certain way based on that law. If you change the law of gravity as a designer, not as a humans who are just actors, guess what? The objects in the material world would act differently. It might hit the ground and bounce 100 times, then stop. If the designer wanted to program the gravity as a form of energy, it's a field, but it's a form of energy. If they wanted to program it in a certain way, they would program a code into the equation, into the code, making you, instead of falling off the sky during an airplane malfunction or something, they would do like, okay, you come down with increasing speed or decreasing speed, And when you get close to the ground, there is an energy shift. The earth senses you and gives you some bouncing, and you don't crash. But why the gravity code was designed the way it is? Can't answer that. I'm not God, I'm not anyone else, I'm not a scientist. But we just experience what we are supposed to experience the way it was designed for us to experience. Same happens in the spiritual world. That world is also made based on the code. And based on that code or that information, I'm calling code because we understand computer programming somehow, and is related to our thinking. But in the same thing, in that world, those entities, those energies behave based on the rules, on a set of rules and laws. And we have to accept. We can't change the universal rules and laws. We discovered those. We write those in the books as humans. We pass them on for the new generation. And we pass them on because it helps them to understand the world and function. And according to the way they behave based on the information they learn in school, they can be more productive. They can have an easier life, better life. If you don't teach the kids about mathematics and physics and all that, those discoveries which are based on the universal code, universal programming, imagine how hard it would be for the human race to advance, because all these discoveries are based on some calculations, some engineering, and those calculations and the engineering and all those creation and code and programming is based on discoveries of others, discoveries of this, we call it natural rules, natural laws. But those laws were programmed by whoever created the world for us, so we experienced the way they wanted us to experience. So if I give you that silly example, if they wanted you to experience the moon spinning faster, they could program that energy to make you experience the moon spinning faster and the night cycles different. The earth would move differently, but because of the law of gravity is programmed in a certain way, the moon spins at a certain rate, certain speed, the earth spins at a certain speed. So you get the idea, it's all pre-programmed the way you are supposed to experience this life. And it's not because it's about you, it's you and every other entity around here. And if you zoom out, we are just actors in a big game. It's a huge game, a very complex game we will never be able to understand. And we just play a little role. Don't argue, don't try to beat it, don't try to have a big ego to show that you are bigger than God. We are just actors, and I can tell you, they can change the rules of of game at any time, and they can change it just for you. The rules of game can be changed remotely by the creator just for you, the way a computer programmer can change the code for just a character. I think I made it some sort of easier to understand, comparing to information that we know about what we understand about our world. Okay, so let you go. I got to work. See you later. Bye bye.